They say three's a crowd. They ain't never been to my house. Hey girls, what you doing this weekend? We should stay in and have us a threesome. She giving her some, they giving me some. Yeah.
With bacon strips, bacon jam, and bacon crumbles. It's a bacon lover's fantasy.
We having us a threesome. Menage a trois, menage a trois, menage a trois.
So for the first part of our project, we decided to talk to a few students and ask them questions on their opinions on the commodification of sex in the United States. Do you think that sex is commodified in the United States?
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would argue yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's what's used to sell product, specifically in like the objectification of women. Less so in men, but more so in women, where they'll put women in skimpy outfits or have them sexually doing things. Like particularly what comes to mind is Carl's Jr. and how the way they sell burgers, like using a sexy woman to sell a burger.
Menage a trois, menage a trois, menage a trois.
Well, I take a look at the TV and I see these Carl's Jr.'s commercials,
Yeah.
and I thought this was about food and
Yeah.
getting fast food, but no, all I can think about is sex at that point. I'm not even thinking about a burger.
Menage a trois, menage a trois, menage a trois.
Do you think that porn should be legal?
Yes.
Okay. What about prostitution?
Yes.
Really?
I do, because it is a, what's the word, a harmless, like, no one's a victimless crime, I should say,
Gotcha.
at least from a personal standpoint. If you do need to make a dollar in life, that's what life's about, you gotta make money to survive, right? It is your body, and I cannot tell you that what you can or cannot do with that, with your body. You're not allowed to make money. Models make money off their body, right? I mean, on their looks and whatnot. So I think that can, like, where do you draw the line? So I think, yes, it should be legal.
Okay. Another question. Do you think that porn should be legal?
No, I'm actually morally opposed to it, not just from religious convictions, but it has been
Gotcha.
proven in many cases that it does lead to the objectification of the opposite sex. In many cases, it's going to reduce people's views of it. A lot of studies support the idea that it does lead to the objectification of the opposite sex,
Gotcha.
and it also gives people, like, it sounds bad, but like fantasies, you know?
Right.
Like, you know, guys will be like, well, you know, because I watch it on this, like, that becomes their ideal, what a woman
Right.
should look like or sound like or anything like that. So they just reduce her to the sexual act, and they don't think about her as a person.
All right. What, in your opinion, what is the difference between a prostitute and a porn star other than a camera?
Ooh. There is none, I would say, right, just the publicity.
Someone who is a porn star is typically making a choice to perform those.
I mean, realistically, they're both doing the same thing for the same reason. It's become so common now that, like, sex is like a handshake with your crotch, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
Where I liked the idea originally or traditionally, even, you know, it wasn't adhered to quite a bit back then, as much as it should have been, but that it should be something special between two people, you know, that brings them together in union and love.
Interesting. Okay.
So I hold, like, more traditional views that way.
As you see, we got mixed results from each student, begging the question, where are our moral standards going in regards to this subject, and if they're heading in the direction of what we saw in the movie, or if it's getting better.
Sex in the food industry. So as of right now, we have lots of different restaurants that basically sell sex because of what women wear. So some of the examples for this would be Hooters, Tilted Kilts. Here in Anchorage, there is Bikini Babes, where they give coffee and they're wearing bikinis. And then if you guys have seen the Hooters or Tilted Kilts advertisements or pictures of them, you can see that they have very provocative and small outfits on.
So sex as a commodity, right now it is very legal within the entertainment industry with pornography, and as videos, it's a legal job throughout California and Florida, and prostitution even is legal throughout Nevada and most parts of Europe.
In correlation with the movie we saw, Idiocracy, one of the examples is Starbucks, which correlates with Bikini Babes, because they're both women in the food industry, but Bikini Babes would be a good example of a coffee shop on its way to being like the Starbucks in Idiocracy.
So the porn industry and prostitution are illegal in America in some areas and also throughout the world, and that does combine with the movie where Starbucks, they served lattes, which were hand jobs, and even President Camacho was a former porn star, such as Sasha Grey and Mia Khalifa, who are now celebrities with outside of the porn industry.
As you can see in Idiocracy, we're definitely on the way to objectifying women more so than we already do, and having food industries be more so like the Starbucks. And the only problem I see with that is that you don't see a lot of men in the food industry where they're wearing really provocative or revealing outfits. So I just don't think it's as fair. It would be different if you saw both men and women working in similar jobs, but it just objectifies women but does not objectify men.
Sex as a commodity could become true throughout the United States or the world, and it's already on its way now with dating apps such as Tinder, Bumblr, Grindr, things like that. They are actually using people and paying money to meet up with others for sex, quote-unquote dating.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but come on, it's called the Bacon Three-Way Burger. What'd you expect?
And the #1 movie in the country was called Ass.